and Kale podcasts. Rob Sanders.
Some would be entertained by it. Some would be horrified by
Kale
it.
Carolina Jackpot Hall.
All would be interested in it.
The Rob and Kale podcasts.
Let's go.
And welcome in to the Rob and Kale podcast. I'm Rob Sanders. I am here in Columbia, South Carolina, where college football fever is getting almost to a fever pitch as we grow closer and closer to week 0 games. I have to welcome in my podcast co-host. He is not a Mizzou fan, even though Mizzou owns his ass. He is the head of the Gamecock YouTubers, the president himself, Mr. Carolina Jackpot, Kale Hall. What's up, buddy?
Rob, how are you doing tonight? You must be feeling pretty spicy to let that one rip here early in the evening, but yeah, things are doing well today. I've taken more naps this weekend than I've taken in probably 4 combined. So I'm feeling good.
Brother, I said you were the president of the Gamecock YouTubers, man. If you want somebody that knows their Gamecock stuff,
I was told it was just the best damn YouTuber on the planet. I didn't know that we had a governing office.
Well, I mean, if there is a governing office, you by God run it.
Well,
it's just the way that it is as far as the Gamecocks go.
All right. Got another job there. Good to see you over here. Rooster, how's your wife doing, sir?
Yes. How is your wife doing? That's very important. Someone asked that earlier today when we did a stream, a simulation on the week 0 game between Nevada and SMU. I think it was Billy Cole that asked about that. So we hope that your wife is doing well. I know she posted she was in the hospital. Hopefully everything is above par. Let's just do that. That's the way we go there. So there's that. Thanks to Randall for the super chat. It says football is almost here. Yes.
Thank you, Randall.
Thank you for that. Big Barney Ross, by the way, sent me some of his barbecue sauce, and that's what we had for dinner. Well, not the barbecue sauce. My wife.
I was going to say, what y'all do? Heat it up in the jar and you eat it with a spoon or a straw?
No, I knew that was coming from you, but no, the wife made some pork roast, and we seasoned it with that. And yeah, it was good stuff, man. Good stuff from Big Barney Ross. Thank you for sending me that, sir. We appreciate it. Biscuit says he just drank a bottle of barbecue sauce. Very good on that. So, Jackpot, I
can tell football season's coming and things are starting to look up because I went out last night and I was feeling lucky and I had $50 worth of winnings left over. And I bought 5 of these $10 tickets, these new $10 tickets from Circle K. And it was at like 10:30 last night. And I don't usually go out that late on Saturday night. And I don't usually buy lottery tickets that late on Saturday night. But I went out and caught that little nicey on the second one. I scratched out the 5. Boom, little money bag peeking out. I thought it was $50 when I first started scratching it off, and it was $500.
5 Franklins heading Jackpot's way. Way to go,
there you go. That's going to pay for those Alabama football tickets.
Rooster says Mama Tori's still in the hospital. Precautionary observation and waiting on some test results. Thanks for asking. Well, I hope Mama Tori's watching the show. We dedicate this show to Mama Tori. I'm not going to say that it's all going to be the stuff that she likes, but at least we were thinking about her. There you go. Anyway, Jackpot, we got to talk about the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. The link is in the description. Someone sent me an email.
I got a level with you, it's not because I was a little derelict in my duties. I'm a little bit down this week this past few days about the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. Hadn't had as many people signing up as we had, earlier in the week and last week. I was pretty used to that ching old Venmo sound going off in my pocket about every 2 or 3 hours. I'd have 1 or 2 go off, and now it's like 1 every 12 hours. So get in the contest is all I can tell you. I mean, the pot's only going to be determined by how many you folks get in. I mean, you're only up to $900 so far. I mean, we were talking $3,000 maybe. I don't know if we're going to get there at this rate. There's a lot of people over there in the comment section and online that they like to spew and talk about my team, talk about everybody else's team, talk about how great their team is, whoever that might be. But, when I ask them about the contest, now I don't want to put my money where my mouth is. I had one last night. I believe he may have been a Tennessee fan I was going at it with. That's a big shocker. And he told me that Old Dominion, I think it may have been that Brandon clown that we've got on the bookcase of accountability that got on here one night. That the Old Dominion plus 20.5 is a lock of the week. I said, okay. I said, well, then I guess you don't have any problem getting into the contest. I said, since you haven't gotten into the contest yet, I said, do you not have the $20 to get in the contest, or you just don't want to get exposed? And he proceeded to tell me that he had gambled away, won, and lost more money than I have ever, quote, this is a quote, made in my adult life at Cherokee. Okay, first of all, people who really gamble go to Atlantic City. That's where the real action is. It's Atlantic City or Vegas. You go out there. It's not Cherokee. That's where the upstate South Carolina and East Tennessee rednecks go to call it gambling when they're playing around with it. Anyway, no, I'm not making fun of anybody who goes to Cherokee, but anyway, I have no interest in the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge, is what he told me.
Well,
I'm like, okay.
He doesn't have interest because he knows his picks will get out there, and we will laugh at him when he finishes below 96, which is where Biscuit says he's going to finish higher than. Some people saying, Will says, if you're not in the contest, your team isn't making a bowl game. We don't guarantee that, by the way. Billy says he's working hard to try to get people to sign up. BVD is plugging it on his channel, and cool. Very good. Thank you for that, BVD.
I'm surprised BVD is still being nice to me since I've been taking a shit on his buddy Sports Talk Jay, but I guess he understands that's not personal.
Well, that's because BVD's old school. He understands. Call each other motherfuckers from here on out, but we can shake hands and then go from there.
All right, I got a $20 cash out from Tennessee Boy. Just joined the contest. Thank you, Tennessee Boy.
Biscuit's going to sign up tonight. Another super chat from Randall saying, Jackpot, did you watch Spencer Rattler lead the game-winning drive for the Saints? We'll get into that.
Look, here's what happened with that. I can't remember if it was CBS or ESPN, probably that shitty CBS site or app I've got, said that game was at 7:30 or 8:30 p.m. Showed it being 8:30 p.m. on Sunday. So I didn't even try to look for it. Like I said, I laid down and took a aforementioned nap again. By the time I woke up, it's like 10:30, and I had, it had started raining up here. And I'm like, well, damn. I looked at that on Twitter, and I'm like, well, damn. I'm like, the game was tonight. I'm like, you sorry ass app. I about called somebody, but I didn't.
Well, thanks to Randall for that. Bill says you must be running a con getting folks money. No, sir. This contest is as honest as all get out. Bill Valentine says,
yeah, that's what we do because neither one of us work for a living. We gotta steal money.
I have more jobs than I know what the fuck to do with. But yeah, there's one
poor fella. I felt bad. He got on Venmo and he finally got the money in, and now he's in the contest. Bless his heart. And I've then sent him, the link. He still is not getting. That there's no real sign up form. He doesn't really get that. If you pay your money, you're in the contest. It's not really a sign up form. It's just a form you fill out every week. I still can't get him to understand that. So I've sent him your video that you did last year, and then hopefully he's got it. But he sent a Venmo payment, and he sent it to my email address, the KL8670@AOL.com, but he put two M's in com. So I didn't get it. like I never got it. And then we determined what he'd done wrong. So he sent it through and I finally got it. But he told me he still hadn't gotten the other $20 back and wanted to know if I had gotten it, but I haven't got it. So I'm like, dude, it's going to probably bounce around in space out there and ping every single place. And Venmo's going to try to send it somewhere where it's going to get picked up. I'm like, and when it doesn't, I said, eventually they're going to send it back to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Billy's standing up for the show. The $900 they sent me for winning the basketball was all fake money. Stop it, Bill.
We sent him some of that shit that said stamped for motion picture use only.
Yeah. Anyway, the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge.
Billy was mad. That's why he comes on here and talks so much shit anymore. Yeah. We almost got him arrested down at the Food City for buying grapes and damn Metamucil with a fucking fake 100. That we sent for winning the damn basketball pick'em. them damn cops in Cleveland, Tennessee, them old toothless hillbilly cops that probably carrying a one bullet around in their front shirt pocket like Barney Fife was doing. He's like, oh no, I just won the basketball pick'em. You go arrest them. We don't have any jurisdiction in Columbia, South Carolina.
Well, anyway, that's the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. Hopefully, you'll playing with Cole's cash. Thank you, Big Barney Ross. But anyway, hopefully you're getting into the contest. To give you the stats on it, very simple. We pick against the spread 10 games a week, and of those 10, and we also pick the Kale Hall shitter.
Was gonna say real quick too. Randall said he stole. Rattler was a 5th rounder. Randall,
yeah,
the 5th rounder.
Yeah. So
Louisiana's like a different. And I'm not talking shit, but Louisiana's just like a different world. I mean, it's almost like a different country. You know what I mean? And it's like, because seriously, like of any state in the United States, except for like maybe Hawaii, and I mean, you can't really count that because it's really detached and whatever. Is there any other part of one of the continental United States that's just that much different?
So
it has such a much different culture than any other state.
So I was stationed in New Orleans for a bit, and I made some friends down there, and we were all going out one night to go, chase women.
Biscuit just got in the challenge. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Way to go, Biscuit. But when I found out New Orleans was different is that we're driving down some road, and there's a hearse that's going to pass us on the other side, and it's got like the caravan of folks that are following it. So obviously somebody died. So the guy that was my friend, his name was Richard. He pulls over to the side of the road, turns the radio off, and bows his head. I've never seen anything like that in my existence. And I just sat there and I'm like, I figured it out quickly. Thank God. Everybody in the car was doing the same thing, but he looks at me and says, we respect our dead. And that's just the way that we do things. And yeah, it just stunned me, but everybody behind us was doing the same thing. So it wasn't like we were just outliers. Everybody stopped and paid respect to this guy that we didn't know who the hell he was. Could have been a woman. Heading to the cemetery. It was very different. So little things like that are different about Louisiana. It really is. So Hoghead with the super chat. Do you think Connor Stallings was the reason Kamal Haddon chose acting like a jackass over covering receivers in the 2022 game?
Well, probably so, because Stallions sending those plays up probably had him so frustrated that he didn't know what to do. So that's why he was acting like a jackass.
Yeah.
Is that little emoji Hoghead? Is that Andy Kaufman when he played on Taxi, kind of with the messed up hair? It looks like.
It does look like Andy Kaufman.
What was his character's name on Taxi? Do you remember? I don't remember.
Now I gotta look it up.
You gotta be real old school to know that one.
Yeah. Let's see here. Andy Kaufman. I'm Google. I know it. It was a weird Taxi character. Okay. What was his name? Latka Gravis. That's it. Latka.
Yeah.
Latka. There we go. There you go with that. Anyway, very good Captain Trips. But anyway, thank you, Hoghead, for that.
It's hard for me to believe that Danny DeVito is like he's still alive and and doing well, and looks as good as he did back in the day, making commercials and stuff. He's on billboards and shit, holding these damn big ass Jersey Mike subs. Man, makes me hungry every time I look at Danny DeVito anymore. I want to eat.
Well, anyway, 10 games and the Kale Hall shitter against the spread every week. We will keep track of it. Let me show you what the leaderboard looks like. You'll have your name up on the leaderboard. I've got last year's leaderboard here. Let me show you that really quickly here. So,
Christopher asked, "Where Jimbo Fisher up to these days? Does anybody know what he's doing? Is he?"
I mean, sitting back counting fucking oil money from Texas A&M's what he's doing. That's what he's doing.
I mean, he hasn't been out of the scene for too long. He's probably not going to do anything this year.
So let's show this really quick here, Jackpot.
He doesn't come across to me as the kind of person who has to coach to be happy or has to be involved with something. He just comes across to me as, the kind of old jabroni who's probably just going to do exactly what I thought he would and exactly what I'd do if I had that much money. He's probably playing golf every day, and then nighttime he's sitting back and counting it. I mean,
yeah. So anyway, we have the picks here, and the way it works is that each week you can see here, week 1, how many you got correct, week 2, blah, blah, blah. The perfect score is up at the top. Perfect score is the actual perfect score, not an actual person, by the way. Someone got confused with that last year. But however many you get correct, you'll have your, we'll sort it out, and see the list goes all the way down to the bottom.
Christopher, you go over to the robandkaleshow.com, and the bookcase of accountability is right. It's on there.
Yeah, bookcase of accountability. The link is also in the description. So I'm trying to keep up with that. When I make the shows, set the shows up, I always have the Callaway's link, bookcase of accountability, and Bourbon Reviews with Big Barney Ross. Go and check that out. All right. So there's that. But anyway, that's the standings there. You'll have those every week. We update them on. I generally try to have them updated on Sunday before we go on there. I don't think I miss many. Now with Labor Day weekend, we won't have that because there's a Monday game.
Right.
So you won't have everything up until Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only time all year when we do that.
Now, the new form will be dropped every week on generally, I try to get it done by Tuesday, no later than Wednesday morning. So between Tuesday and Wednesday, the form will be on the Rob and Kale Show Facebook page. I post it there, and it's on the website, robandkaleshow.com. You just click it, fill out the form. Make sure you put your proper email address in there, and we'll get your submission, and we'll go from there.
Well, you ought to be able to get them out this year, kind of lickety split. I mean, because I think last year, you were going back and forth to Charleston a lot, right, during the contest. Am I correct? In that time,
last year, well, that was the year before, but this year I'm not. This year I'm at the house, so we'll be able to. I'll be able to do some actual cool stuff. I know we did the Jackpot remix last year. People love those videos. It's basically the best of Jackpot losing his shit or cheering his ass off, depending on how well the Gamecocks are doing. So it's the best of Jackpot's live streams condensed all into about a 15-minute set. We try to post those about Wednesday, Wednesday or Thursday, just something to hopefully you'll share those so people can come and watch the live stream. But it's the best of Jackpot losing his shit, basically.
I'm glad. So anyone can go over there and make fun of me. Once again, you can do it twice if you want to.
That's not the purpose. Is not to make fun of you. It's also here's the other end of it too.
They do. They like doing it, and it's fine. I indulge it.
Like doing
Pretty much bring it on myself.
Think about this. I didn't do it the year before when the Gamecocks kicked the holy shit out of Tennessee and went up to Clemson and embarrassed Clemson and kept them out of the college football playoff. Wouldn't you like to have the condensed version of Jackpot happier than hell about his team wiping their ass with Tennessee. Yeah, we'll put that up too. It's not just jackpot losing. It's the best of that live stream. So all of that condensed. And hey, if the Gamecocks win some games this year, it could be jackpot glory in a condensed form. So it's not just people making fun of you, jackpot. It's not. There will be some, though. There will be some. So
Dandy says Vanderbilt had him in tears. Yeah. Can you imagine how awful it must be to have a team to where they're so bad that the mere thought that you're that close, that you're just on the cusp of losing to them brings a grown man to tears. That's when you know you've kind of reached the bottom of the barrel.
Well, when you lose to Vanderbilt, I mean, it's kind of crazy, but generally, if you lose to Vanderbilt, your coach is going to get fired.
Yeah,
so,
it's going to happen one of these days for South Carolina. I'm hoping that I'm passed on by the time that it happens. But no, I'm just kidding. It is going to happen.
Because Jackpot will live to be 806, but he wants like the 95 game winning streak against Vanderbilt. Let's see here. So look at it from this perspective, though. Jackpot. When was the last time South Carolina lost to Vanderbilt? I mean, it's like 18 years ago, right?
2008.
All right. So since 2008, Tennessee's lost to them 5 times. At least you're not that, sir.
That's rough.
At least that hasn't happened to you. A little shot at the Tennessee man tonight. All right. Well, if you want to join the show this evening, have at it. We're open to all of this stuff that people have been talking about. The first person to join us is Gamecock Sporty. Welcome, sir.
Rob, Jackpot, how y'all doing?
Good evening, sir.
That's good to hear. I'm doing all right as well. It took me forever to get my YouTube. I had to get a lot of stuff replaced. I had to get my phone replaced. I had to get my my laptop replaced. It took me forever to get my account back for my YouTube channel, and I finally did. It was being weird, account verification issues, but I'm back. Y'all looking forward to week 0?
So what caused that? Did you get new devices or something?
Yeah, I did. I mean,
somebody hacked his poor account.
That's what it felt like.
Somebody hacked his porn account.
No, not poor account, sir. Poor.
Porn. You said porn?
Oh, poor. No, poor.
Why do you get up? I don't have an account for porn. I just Google what I want to see, and it kind of pops up.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you step in that one, Jackpot. I'm not gonna help you there. That's on you, sir.
All right, go ahead, Game Sporty. I'm sorry, didn't mean to steal.
Go ahead, Sporty. We know how Jackpot gets his porn now. Ta-da!
Well, yeah,
Well, I don't have the Jack Shack to hide it in anymore, so I have to go online.
Oh no, you've gone high class now, brother. You don't have to have them sticky pages. You just wipe the phone off later, and you're good to go.
First thing, Jackpot, I watched your video in response to Sports Talk Jay beating the dead horse of the cheating allegations, and I went and watched his video as well, and I'm like, dude, you've been saying the same thing for 18 years or since the game ended, the whole you cheat or Connor Stallions in South Carolina cheated to beat Tennessee, and he won't shut up about it. I mean, do they have circumstantial evidence? I mean, I guess so, but
they have kind of some connected dot type evidence with that thing, but
yeah.
I mean, nothing. I want to watch this documentary that he's got coming out. That's on August the 27th. Have you heard about that? The Sign Stealer documentary that he's supposedly getting interviewed. I mean,
he's making a documentary.
You're making a documentary about a game against a team that, over the history of your program since they joined the conference, you own a huge winning percentage record over them. Yet in the past 15 years, it's been a pretty much dead even series. Yet they're not on your schedule this year, but you're going to take the time to make a documentary talking about a game from 2 years ago. You've got to be freaking kidding me. By the way, I'm a hell of a video editor. I can put together edits showing that you cheated in the Alabama game. I can make up anything that I want and put a video together and show where different angles where you lined up off sides, or you guys were barking signals at Bryce Young in the center, screwing up Alabama with their signals. I can put that together. All lies. That's what you've done with the shit you have here. You want to have a lie off? We can do that.
It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy though that you could go back in history and look at games, especially old games, and see like with your own two eyes just blatant blown missed calls that were never challenged or reviewed because they didn't do it back in the day. With YouTube, stuff just plays in a loop, and you know how that goes. And for some reason, the 1994 South Carolina versus LSU game, second half, popped into my thing this morning, and I was laying here in the bed watching that game from 1994, Brad Scott's Gamecocks on the road at LSU. And in the second half, South Carolina got called for a roughing the punter penalty, and after a third down stop, they forced them to punt. And then they go back and show the replay, and you can clearly see that no South Carolina player runs into this guy or even touches him. It's just all it's an act. He's just a magician who does the old flop, and you can go back and clearly see it. And they got a first down out of it. Now, I mean, they still ended up losing the game, but I just now, I mean, you'd never be able to get away with that.
All right, so let me make sure that Devin, I want to make sure that I'm correct here. He was talking about the Netflix documentary. I thought that they were talking about Sports Talk Jay is doing a documentary. Therefore, I'm a dumbass, and I apologize. The stuff with Connor Stallions is going to be interesting, but I don't think it's going to have anything to do with South Carolina mouth pumping Tennessee.
No, it's not. It's going to be centered on Michigan, and I just think it's crazy. They're going to talk to him. He won't talk to anybody right now.
He's well, and whatever with all that. By the way, I want to go ahead and put this out there. Sports Talk Jay has an open invitation. If he wants to come on here and actually have a discussion, not just my Tennessee's great. If you want to come on and have an actual discussion here with someone that will actually converse with you and not yell over you, we can have a conversation about that. If you want to do that, sir, you're welcome at any time. Feel free to reach out to me, rosanders1979@gmail.com. We'll be happy to have you on the program. And you can tell your side of the story, okay? I won't laugh at you. We'll let you put your side out there. But I can guarantee you this. I will blow holes in every single thing that you put out there because it's all bullshit. Absolute bullshit. So up to you, sir. Up to you.
I hate this one too. He promoted and plugged. I'm not going to keep talking about this thing either. This is the last thing I'm going to say about it. I want to move on to you and something else. They plugged a podcast. These two guys off the hook with Dave Hooker, whoever, some other Voltard who's got a podcast. Every Voltard's got a podcast, but he's with some younger guy, and these two clowns were talking about the game, and the younger guy is like, well, and if they hadn't had our signals, then Hendon might not have gotten injured, and we were only down by 18 when he got hurt. There's a very good chance we could have come back
with
and
7
won.
minutes left. With less than
Really?
7 minutes left.
I stand behind what I said.
Yeah, because all the trajectory was going towards you coming back and winning. Yeah.
That is the dumbest excuse I've heard. The if Hendon Hooker didn't go down excuse.
They still put up 35 points. You average 40 points a game in SEC play. You put up 35 points, and you still lost by 4 touchdowns. Just stop it. Just stop it. But I'll be happy to entertain Sports Talk Jay, and you can come on here, and I won't hammer you too bad, but
Bo Hunting says he's a good dude. Now, nobody said he wasn't a good dude. No,
I'm not saying he's a bad
I'm not
dude.
questioning his character. He's a nice person.
I'm saying his take is bullshit, though. The stuff he's spewing is silly. And I think deep down, if he's a college football fan, he probably knows it.
Yeah.
Probably knows it. So.
Sporty.
All right, what do you got, Sporty?
I was looking at win totals and what I'm probably going to do for my next – there's only so many more prediction videos I can do. I've only done 2 so far, which I'm kind of disappointed to say, but, like, probably going to do Clemson next. But I was looking at win totals for South Carolina, and it's, like, basically, like, 5.5. I said we'd go 6.
Juice to the over.
I don't know if I'm going to put any money on it, though, or not. Usually I just do Cliff for betting since it's not that much risk.
As a young college man, you need to make sure you have enough money left for ramen noodles, sir. How are you going to have a hot date with ramen noodles if you don't have the money to pay for the ramen?
With ramen noodles is crazy.
She doesn't eat ramen noodles, but she's probably not the one, sir. Just saying.
Gamecocks, they stepped in it last year on whatever the over-under win total was. So, yeah, I'd stay away from that.
Anyway. So
I think it was 6.5 last year.
For the over-under for South Carolina?
For last year, I think it was.
I think it was. It's 5.5 this year. And we can get into that, but those are so hard for me to pick as far as the over and under goes, because I can look at it and I could see where there are potentials for dumpster fire Muschamp games, which are where a team like Auburn has more talent. We'll just use that as an example. Has more talent than South Carolina, but something happens, their coach is a shithead, and they end up giving the game away, or the team quits, or what have you. There's potential for that in some of the South Carolina games this season, but we shall see. I know, they're going to get everything they could want from Kentucky. They're going to get everything they could want from LSU. One of those sneaky games might be Ole Miss. What happens if Ole Miss, some of those players get out there, and you've already got the trash-ass receiver that used to play for South Carolina, Trashy Juice. He's already quit on one team. What makes you think he won't quit on another?
Judas Wells.
Things could happen. So, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard when you really have to look at those. It really is. So, all right. Well, what else you got, Sporty?
I was thinking about doing my next prediction video on Clemson. I'm still probably doing a little bit of research on like each individual game and like each individual.
The over under on Clemson wins. Is it 9.5? 8.5?
Yeah, 8.5.
Oh, I'm taking the over there.
No.
Dabo Sweeney said at his scrimmage yesterday, some notes from Clemson's camp said they weren't where they needed to be, but the offense looked smoother. Offensive line looked smoother. Excuse me. And defense had a couple of takeaways. Said this, they weren't quite where they needed to be, but they had a good scrimmage yesterday, their first full scrimmage of the season. But I just have a weird feeling about Clemson. The 8.5 is not. I'd take the over there if I were going to. If I were going to advise you there, Gamecock Sporty, I'd tell you to take the over.
Yeah, at 8.5, I probably would take the over too. If it was at 9.5, I'd probably take the under. I think it's a 9-win team.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
9 wins is safe. 9 wins should be the floor for this Clemson team with that defense.
They ain't all that. Okay? They're not all that. That offense was an absolute wet fart last year, and don't tell me they've done enough to go out and fix it.
The rest of the schedule is jackpot. 9 wins. The 3 losses that you could look at, you could go Florida State, Georgia, and let's just say NC State. The rest of the games they should be, or you could do Virginia Tech. One of those two. I
think Tech probably has a better chance of getting you on. Although I think Tech's a little overrated, just simply because I know they've got some pieces there, but they had a run last year where they beat up on some teams that were really not very good. And so they put all those wins together. Everybody's like, oh, Virginia Tech's back. Josh Pate's called them, that's the next sleeping giant that's woken up. He's like, you young kids, you know how Josh Pate's got to like build up to everything. He's like, there was a time when my college age audience was running around in diapers. Says when Frank Beamer was winning the ACC in his first 2 years in the conference at Virginia Tech. You might not know that. But yeah.
Oh, sure.
So we'll see. I don't think we're at that level yet.
I saw a video where Josh Pate was like, South Carolina can go anywhere from 6-6 to 9-3. If things go right, South Carolina's going 9-3. And I clicked off the video.
Why not even say, hey, they could go 0-12 or 12-0? They could do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
Josh, you really went out on a limb there.
Jesus.
He'll be like, if things go right for South Carolina, they'll go 10-2. But if things don't go right, 3-9. That's what he's like.
He's a football savant, that guy.
And I get he has to be that way because he's working under.
He's trying to cater to everybody, and he's got CBS as a boss. So there's that too. Tom says he agrees with Jackpot about Va-Tech. Very good. Look, and I'm not saying Clemson's an end-all be-all, but Jackpot said something about the folks from who was you were talking about? You were talking about they won some games at the end of the season, Virginia Tech. I could make an argument that Clemson did the same thing with the last 5 games that they won to move them to 9-4 on the season. I could make that argument that some of those games they weren't really the best of opponents. Let me give you that list here because I was thinking about this earlier today, and let's see if I can look at the actual.
I mean, they beat Notre Dame's ass pretty bad, and they were an underdog. So
right, but it wasn't. Let's see here in 2023, the back end of the schedule, the 5 wins. They beat Notre Dame. They beat Georgia Tech. Okay. North Carolina, South Carolina, and Kentucky.
That's a good
I still think bowl games don't matter. I stand behind that.
I mean, well, they won a game.
Man, it wasn't like a lot.
Wall Street dude had to win the game against South Carolina for them. So, I mean, there's something. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just saying sometimes you can have that end of the season stretch there where maybe you pull it together, but there was a lot of spit and glue that got Clemson to 9-4, in my opinion. It wasn't like they were the 2018 team that they beat every team by 21 points. It's not like.
Well, Rob, if you want to look at it this way, the teams that you lost to, with the exception of Florida State, I guess they were pretty good. I mean, they went undefeated. Whatever, I don't like to give them a whole lot of credit for last year because of the way they did in that bowl game. But I mean, other than that, we'll take them out of the equation. But you're talking about Duke, NC State, and Miami. Well, I don't think Duke, NC State, and Miami were that far off of Notre Dame, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia Tech.
I mean that's fair, but it just
probably all throw them in a big circle jerk together, and they'd probably all come out sucking their thumbs.
That may be true. It's just when you look at those games, though, and to tell you how important the quarterback situation is. In the Notre Dame game, Klubnik threw for 109 yards. In the Georgia Tech game, he threw for 205. 219 against North Carolina, 100 yards against South Carolina, and then 264 against Kentucky. I mean, he didn't have the games where he did put up numbers. He put up 283 against Florida State in a loss. The Miami game, he threw for 314 in a loss. Threw for 263 against NC State. That's a loss. So from my perspective, if you're really thinking about it, the less that we can have the ball in his hands throwing to people, the better. Kind of the way that it worked out last season anyway. He needs to be a game manager this year. That's what he needs to be. Hit the check down route. Get him off of the ball. Hit the check down route. Get Keith Adams Jr. some carries. and just go from there. And that'll be he can do that and make some throws when he has to, but this shit going out and trying to win games on your own, you need to understand that is not going to work, period.
There's nothing wrong with being a game manager quarterback. I mean, we need more of those, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Well, I hope you put that together there, Gamecock Sporty. I will be watching that video whenever you put it together. And, what else you got this evening, man, before we let you out of here?
I think that's about everything. Oh wait, one last thing. Did you watch the Uncle Lou video that I told you about? Where the Florida fan calls on the program and calls Florida blue blood.
I didn't. I need to catch up with some of that stuff.
I saw part of that. Yeah,
I was dying. Anyways, thanks for having me on the show. That's all I got.
All right, man. Hey, appreciate it, man. It's always good to have the head of our college folks there is Mr. Gamecock Sporty, as he is heading back to the University of South Carolina. You start classes in a couple weeks? When do you start?
I've started classes now.
Oh, well, excuse me.
I'm online.
But whenever you get back to campus, you'll be doing your thing there and dominating at Ultimate Frisbee.
I'm actually in Columbia at my apartment right now, believe it or not.
Well, there you go. Not far down the road. Well, hey, it's good to hear from you, buddy.
For sure.
Hit me up. I'll come to Callaway's. I'll buy you some wings one night. Help out the Gamecock folks down there. All right, there you go. Let's welcome in Billy. Thank you, Sporty.
Hey.
Billy, welcome to the program.
As I was trying to hustle today for Callaway's Pick'em, I was on Sports J, and I texted him. He released a video, and he's released another one since then. And I politely asked him, could he plug CJP's Callaway Pick'em, and my comment was deleted. It sure was.
Well, yeah,
I don't think
I've
he
done some comments over there lately. Some of the back and forth that I did with the Tennessee man there, and he deleted some of those comments also.
Oh, and the other night he was on BVD. He was on the show, and I called in. And I said, I need to please ask you, will you stop with this? And he said, no. He said, no. I said, okay. I said, he's getting clicks. And I think,
what's he gonna? Okay. Well, 2 years from now, when nothing's ever come of that, then
it's.
Why don't you want me to watch something? Why don't you come up with some conspiracy that Peyton Manning didn't win the Heisman because a set of votes didn't get in from the Northwest, and he would have won.
Woodson played both ways on a losing team.
I'm sorry. Yeah, or something like that. If you come up with that, I'd rather watch that. That's more believable to me than the signs were stolen and all that shit.
He played both ways on a losing team, so I don't know. I think it's.
I'll tell you somebody else that played two ways on a losing team, Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Deion here in a minute too. I want to talk about Deion.
Yeah, he's not doing himself any good. That's for sure. But
no.
I tried to plug the Pick'em on Sports J and I got deleted. So.
Well, you just keep plugging it over there on BVD. That's fine.
BVD's doing you a good job, so we're trying. So.
Anyway. I stand what I said about that. Sports Talk J can come and peddle his wares here, and. He'll have to do it outside that vacuum, though. There's not going to be a bunch of go orange bullshit here. It's going to be just I have questions. If you want to come on,
you're the only one who spews orange bullshit here.
Easy, sir, easy. But if you want to come on and be questioned and bring some validity to your program, or if you just want to continue to live in that vacuum, that's fine.
Whatever you want. It's all hypothetical stuff. If this happens, if that happens. But I think until this case is closed, is there? And I think we lost. I'm moving on. But anyway, until this case is absolutely closed, what happens if they found out Stallions did send some stuff to different schools? Then what happens? Nothing. Not a thing. So they found out they have a copy that they mail to whatever team. What happens? Nothing. What's going to happen?
As for right now, they've given a 5-year show cause to a coach who's coaching in the NFL who has no interest in coaching college football.
Well, Feinbaum the other day said, "Oh, they dropped the hammer on Harp." No, they didn't. They didn't. He got a slap on the wrist. He's not coming to coach college football.
No.
Yes.
That's ridiculous. Oh, they dropped the hammer on him. No, they didn't. It was Sports J said they dropped the hammer on. No, they didn't. They let him off.
It's not going to affect him at all.
Unless they got his
care.
Unless they got his pocketbook and took $1 million out of his savings account. They didn't do nothing. Slap on the trip.
And they're still hanging up that banner up there. They don't care.
It don't matter. Like you said, what are they going to do? I mean, they had him dead to rights.
I don't care. I don't care.
Introduce us to Jay and let us talk. Hey, young man. Hey.
There's my buddy. There's my son. Say hello.
Hey, Jay. All right, I'm getting off here.
There you go.
But I tried today, so. Hey, Jaden. How are you doing, buddy?
Say hi. Say hi to Billy. Hi, Billy. Hi, Billy. Hi, Kale.
Hi, Jaden.
All right. I know. This is the Rob and Kale show.
Rob and Kale.
Go play. That'll be up in a little bit, okay?
All right, I'm out of here.
See you later. Dad loves you, son. Okay, son.
Can you believe they're over here in the comments making fun of a former national quarterback champion that was runner-up Heisman because of his weight 25 years later? Can you actually believe that? They're actually making fun of Heupel's weight.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. Never mind.
No.
Have a good night, man.
No. But anyway, Heupel did it, and his daddy wasn't the coach of the team. So I'll let y'all go.
Thank you, sir. Someone says Sports Talk Jay has more loyal fans in the year than y'all do in 10. Well, good for him, sir.
Who says that?
I packed your lunch full. We're not trying to take
what's
away
it say?
It says Sports Talk Jay has more loyal fans in a year than y'all do in 10 years.
It says Sports Talk Jay doesn't support ignorance. Well, I mean, he spews ignorance, so does that count?
Once again, if he wants to come on the program, we will be respectful. We'll let him put his stuff out there. But I
packed your lunch, fool, says, how's it above? Okay, I'm going to be – I don't want to go there because I'm not going to talk about, the deceased here on this program. So I'm not going to go there. But I will tell you this. I mean, he has a lot more time to work on a YouTube channel than I do. I mean, I don't know. He works at a golf course and it's like semi-retired or something like that, I guess. I really don't know. But, I mean, he has time to pump out a video every afternoon from the house. So, I mean, you tell me. I mean, I can't pump one out on the potato chip truck every day. I'm out there trying to hustle and make money, pimp myself out for the mighty dollar. So,
right.
Yeah, I got to keep the lights on somewhere or the other. So, anyway, I guess that's how it happens. I packed your lunch, fool. I mean, you support it. So,
good for him. Well, we're not trying to shame his followers or whatever. It's just if you truly
I packed your lunch says it's past Jay's bedtime. He actually got to work and make. Okay, just for you, I packed your lunch, fool. I'm gonna make a video tomorrow.
Oh shit! Stand by for that. Anyway, let's talk about something positive here. I believe he's in the chat tonight. I'm not sure. I am posting a link in the chat right now for Gamecock Chuck. I watched his video about the Gamecocks defense entitled Competitive and Optimistic this upcoming season. Go and check that out. Go subscribe to his page.
Well, I was reading today. I was reading about. Well, I watched Shane Beamer's press conference yesterday, of course, about the scrimmage, and I'll tell you the thing about the scrimmage and stuff that he's saying about practice so far. The thing that bothers me the most, and you may think this is insignificant, but it absolutely is not, and it's something that we've been great at. Well, not great, but at least good at, and now it seems to be a problem. It seems like he can't find a field goal kicker, from what I'm understanding, and he's not real happy with that. That's never a good thing.
Well, you would think that Beamer being, from his roots, that special teams is what it is.
Well, I mean, I don't know that. I think they were still trying to work on, this one guy Herrera. He's a senior this year, and I think they just been bringing him along as the backup. I think that the Mitch Jeter thing, where he hit the portal and went to Notre Dame, I think that really, really was probably a curveball from out of nowhere.
Right.
I mean, how often does that happen?
Not very often.
I don't think they were really prepared. This guy Mason Love, that's out of Missouri, that's a freshman this year, is like a really highly regarded kicking prospect, but he's a punter by trade. I think he can kick field goals, but don't necessarily know that he's going to be the best at it.
Who's your kicker? Your punter is, what's his name?
Kai Kroger.
Kroger, that's right. Yeah, name slipped my mind there. Like in
we got grocery store in the backfield kicking punts.
I know, but he's like one of the best punters in the NCAA 2025 game.
Yeah.
He boots the shit out of the ball.
Well, I often said, the past few years, I think that the reason why he's so good is he gets, and this is a backhanded compliment, he gets a lot of game time reps because that fucking offense bogged down a lot.
Mike with the super chat says, "Jackpot, don't let these trolls raise your blood pressure up. You have a lot of college football fans, not Gamecocks, that watch you. We support you." Yeah, well, thank you, sir. Thank you for the super
I'm good,
chat.
man. I'm taking my pills.
Take your pills, Kel. Take your fucking pills.
Yeah, the little alarm goes off. Bruce, take your pills.
Christopher, what's up?
What's up, fellas?
How the hell are you?
Making it. So I got a question, Jackpot. Did you see the simulation that EA Sports did for the Ole Miss and Gamecock game?
I did not.
They actually, so surprising enough, well, Rob, I didn't know if you watched it. My bad. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. So we're gonna have all those games, by the way, and I'm doing the simulations. I think I've done 2 this week. We're gonna ramp that up and do some more. But the best part about that game is if someone gets injured or whatever, they update the rosters every week, which is kind of cool. And
That's insane.
It's supposed to make it more game-like. So, like, if South Carolina for the Ole Miss game, Juice Wells has turf toe, he won't play in that game. And when we do the simulation, it won't have him in the game. But that's why we haven't simulated that one yet. But what did that simulation show you from the beginning of the season?
So it had, at the beginning of the game for the Ole Miss game, I know the end of the score. I didn't watch the whole thing because I just didn't have time for it. But all the way up to the fourth quarter, within I think a minute and a half, the Gamecocks were leading. And then, of course, the last 30 seconds, I think we were leading by 2 points, 2 or 3 points. And, of course, Ole Miss came back with a touchdown and won.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't watch it all the way,
Mm-hmm. So there's we're using that as a simulation tool to see how it works there, Billy. So the simulator will be in the Rob and Kale challenge or the Callaway challenge.
I don't know how accurate the simulator is because the one you simulated today, didn't SMU beat Nevada 13-3 or something?
It was 13-3, and they're a 21.5 point favorite in that matchup. But I'm going to simulate all of them, and we'll see.
I don't know how many fools out there are going to be basing their wagers. I wonder how many of them are going to simulate these games on that and base their wagers off how those games turn out from their simulation. I can't. That's just not going to happen. SMU's not getting held to 13 points by that team in real time. It's crazy. There's some things. It's just weird that they're going to update the injury stats and make it that realistic. Yet, I saw Uncle Lou, he simulated Miami and Florida the other day, and it snowed.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think it was
snowed.
That thing, I don't know, but
all right, somebody's playing around now.
We're just using it as we're just going to see. We'll see at the end of the season how they do. how, I mean, because like for that game, right,
There's
for
a better
week
chance
0,
of
the
schooling at
simulator
the Devil's House than it does in Gainesville, Florida, in
so,
early
so
September.
the way the simulator has, according to the simulator, they're thinking that Nevada is going to get within the 21.5, so they'll pick Nevada, and we'll see how they do against the whole season. See who, maybe that's the way to go. Who knows?
Back
We'll
with what
see.
Jackpot said. Think about how many people are going to lose money on betting like the simulate. You know what I mean? I guarantee you're
I'm
going to
sure
have
there'll
fools
be.
out there that are going to do it.
Well, they'll be like the simulator may have one good week, right, and go, I don't know, 7-4, and then some
They're going to
idiot
go
who
worse
went
than what
two
we
and
are
nine,
this year.
2-9 is going to be like, man, simulators did this. Oh wow, I should do that. That'll happen.
So, on the next note, I think I heard something. I think Rooster said something about Michael Smith. I believe he's the freshman tight end. Am I right?
Yeah.
I believe he said he had a good catch in the scrimmage. I didn't see it. I need to go back and see if I can see it. But I mean, I heard this year he's going to be pretty good. But the
Yeah, that
next
kid
thing,
from Florida State's playing pretty well too.
I heard that as well.
Yeah, so
Now, what I am a little bit nervous about is, like you said, a field goal kicker. Both of these guys, if I'm not mistaken, they're three years in at least. I believe.
I know Mr. Herrera's 3 years in. I don't know about the
But 3 years in, you should be able to kick a decent field goal. I think. That's 3 years, especially with Beamer being he's real big on special teams. At least I would think.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think that they weren't prepared.
No, I don't think they even thought.
I think Mitch Jeter quitting on them, or not quitting on them, going to Notre Dame on them, kind of came out of left field. So,
I still don't get why he did it. I mean,
I don't know. Maybe it was his dream to play at Notre Dame. It's a national brand, or so I'm told. Mike in North Carolina, shout out to Mike. He says, enjoy your channel, but Rob needs to start wearing shirts with sleeves. Mike, I agree, Mike, but he's not going to because he's contrarian.
Yeah, I'm sorry that a grown man's shoulders hurt your feelings. I'll take note of that, sir.
Oh, anyway, well, y'all have a good night. That's pretty much all I got to say.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right.
Take care of
No
yourself,
problem.
all right?
You too.
All right, there we go. What's up, buddy?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are y'all doing?
Better than we deserve.
I heard that, man.
What's the matter? Why don't you get the hiccups?
What's that pooch doing? That's the one that ate your shoe, wasn't it?
Yeah, she's got the hiccups.
You need to lock that thing out the house. It needs to learn some respect, man.
What?
Oh yeah, can't be eating Kale's shoes around here.
Yeah, man, it's okay. There's only one of her. We can go get a pair of tennis shoes. We can go get another pair of teeny bops.
That's
You
the
tear them up.
talking Kale.
We don't need to, okay?
But I'm glad to hear y'all are doing well. I don't have a whole lot to say, but here's something y'all probably didn't know. Maybe it'll give y'all something to look forward to if y'all are able to stay up a little longer. But there's a really big meteor shower tonight, believe it or not. It's supposed to be like up to 100 per hour. I think you got to stay up pretty late though. You probably got to stay up till like midnight to see it, but it should be a pretty damn good show. I'm gonna go up to the mountains myself and go watch it.
Well, good luck.
You live in Pickens, right? Are you still in Pickens?
Easily.
Oh, okay. So you're not. You want to go to the mountains? It's not far.
No, it's only about 20 minutes, probably 25, 30. But some of the Gamecocks, they've been lighting it up in the preseason. I don't know if y'all saw Marion Brown. He had a real nice touchdown last week too. I think he's playing for the Steelers.
Browns, right?
Yeah, he was the one who came over from Georgia Tech. You remember a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing his way in. I don't know if a lot of them boys from this past year are going to make the roster. I'm confident about Rattler and Leggett, obviously, but outside of that, man, I think it's probably going to be they've got high hopes to make it. Have you heard any buzz from any of the Clemson players that they've been making any plays, Rob?
So the first round pick for Baltimore had like 4 tackles and a sack in his first 8 plays or some ridiculous thing there, and then ended up getting hurt. Will Shipley scored a touchdown in his preseason play. That's pretty much all that I remember off the top of my head there. So,
Wow.
Trent Simpson is also turning heads in Baltimore to the point where their coach is talking about him in press conferences. So, yeah.
Well, I know I talked about my Patriots on the rundown, but it just gets worse and worse. Now it just seems like every single coach we hire has to be a former player. We're taking the Gamecocks route, where it's just nothing but listening to your former players, hiring former staff. I don't understand what the fuck's going on in New England, man. We just hired Matthews.
Someone asked about Shipley. Shipley's playing for the Eagles. He's playing for the Eagles. So
who's that? Trenton Simpson?
No, Will Shipley's playing for the Eagles.
Oh, well, they just got sick. He ain't going to see the field too much this year, if I had to imagine. They got
he may get cut, and I'm just saying that, they've got, unless they're trying to do salary cap stuff, so they've got Saquon Barkley, Tyree Darius Price, Kenneth Gainwell, Kendall Milton, Lou Nichols III, and Will Shipley. He might make the team. But, I mean, all the carries are going to go to Saquon.
Well, you know who's still lingering around at my Patriots, right? Kevin Harris. Kevin Harris is still on the roster. That dude hasn't touched a football in about 3 years. Yeah, pretty sure he got drafted, the COVID year, 2020?
2022.
Was it 2022?
Yeah, because he was on the team. He was at South Carolina. He was, because in 2021 he was still on Beamer's first team, but he was hurt a lot.
Okay.
Right.
If you remember correctly. And they didn't have a running game. They didn't have a passing game either. I don't know how they won 7 games that they did. Kevin Harris, is he still with the Patriots, right?
Yeah, he's still with the Patriots.
Yeah, I was watching him the other night at preseason. Drake May hit him with he dumped it off to him, or tried to dump him off a little pass in the flat, and it hit Harris right in the hands, and he couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's about right.
I was like, there's one of my Gamecocks. There you go, Gamecock boy.
Well, Rico Dowdle's getting snaps for Dallas. He's listed as their second-team running back right now, behind Ezekiel Elliott. So,
yeah, I can't believe Ezekiel Elliott went back. Wait, did Tony Pollard leave? Where's Pollard at?
Pollard went to – where did Pollard go? I knew if you wouldn't have asked me, I could have told you. I'll look it up right quick. But he went to – I think he went to the – he went to the Titans. That's right.
Well, speaking of my Gamecocks, I'm fully bought into the hype train, man. I think Rattler's going to be I think he'll take that starting job before the year's over. Derek Carr is just an absolute fucking schmuck.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Respectfully, he should walk in there knowing you're better than Derek Carr. Derek Carr is terrible.
I don't think there's a better situation Rattler could have fallen in, personally speaking. It's really the team set up for him to come in, take the starting job. And I think games, man. I really do. But
I think that Carr will step on get his toenail caught on his tampon string about game 3, and then Rattler will play the rest of the way out. And the Saints they'll be decent this year. I believe that.
I won't keep y'all too long. I'll leave y'all with this. Josh Heupel's a fat ass Billy. Don't come in here and talk about second and Heisman. That motherfucker needs to put down the jelly donuts, okay? He doesn't stand on business. That's all I'll say, because I'm not going to talk shit about the Tennessee program, but I will call Josh Heupel fat, because that's just fact of the matter, dude. You go look up a picture of Josh Heupel. 3 chins, dog. 3 chins. Don't talk to me about second place in the Heisman, okay? Other than that, horns down. Fuck Ole Miss. I hate Ole Miss. You know what, Juice Wells, bro? I hope he stubs his fucking toe every night until that game, man. Because we're gonna come in, we're gonna punch him in the fucking mouth.
Well, he won't have to stub it one time to sit the game out.
Well, I just hope nothing but misfortune for that guy. I hope that fucking golf cart that got stolen from him, I hope he never gets it back. I hope he gets a flat tire, everything. Everything you can throw at him, he deserves it. But other than that, go Cox. Dabo's a fucking bitch. You don't take transfers. You're never going to win another natty again.
Thanks for that, sir.
Well, the biggest shithead move with him was that day, like when he hit the portal, and then he turned right around and Kiffin left Columbia, and then he turned right around and tried to go back into the football office to get his hair cut.
George Rogers won the Heisman. Someone asked that. I packed your lunch full. Name a South Carolina Heisman winner. George Rogers won the Heisman. That helps out there for the uneducated. Anyway, what else you got there, Jackpot? Anything else you want to go
We're
over?
talking about Deion Sanders. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, yeah.
He's caused some ripples the other day. I guess it was Friday, maybe. They were supposed to have a press conference there. He entertaining some local reporters, and he just pretty much was refusing, just acting like a child. Just first of all, the beard is not a good look. He looks dumb. I thought it was a disguise at first. It almost looks like a fake beard, like something you'd see in the movies or somebody puts on to go rob a bank. But anyway, he won't answer questions.
Would you like me to play a piece of it? I've got it here, I think. Give me a second here.
Sure. In case people don't know what we're talking about, they may not have seen it.
Let me pull it up here. Hold on just a second. But yeah, go ahead and lay the groundwork for us here. Okay. Here we go. This is a 30-second piece, so I will. Let's see here. Let me share this really quick. Hold on.
It's probably give us a copyright violation, but hell, we get them on every day.
No, I don't think it's going to matter. Let's play the audio. We don't have to play the video, just the audio.
Look at this fat little baby.
Yes, CBS. I respect you. I got love for you. But what they did was foul.
So apparently he's
Kristen
talking to
Kimmel,
CBS
CBS
about
Colorado.
something. Jackpot.
Tyler, I'm not doing that with.
Yeah, he's mad at CBS. So there's his thing there. And someone says they're on upset alert against North Dakota State.
Well, here's the thing. He won't answer. Look, these coaches nowadays, I don't get it. I mean, you're getting paid. They are getting paid so much more money than what their predecessors probably made in an entire lifetime. And by that, I mean by just coaching. I mean, how many more dollars do you think, Rob? Maybe I don't know. And just in the past 2 years, do you think that Deion Sanders has made off of social media and off his salary at the University of Colorado than his coach Bobby Bowden, probably more than he made in 20 years of coaching college football?
Well, I want to show his Twitter layout here. He said 12 hours ago, I pray that all of you that are reading this right now locate the peace of God that passes all understanding. # Coach Prime. And then he retweeted himself. It's like he's sucking his own penis here. It's like I'm going to tweet it and then immediately retweet it because, by God, I'm retweeting myself.
I'm going to retweet it because the followers that I originally tweeted it out to won't get it the first time. You're not retweeting it to another audience there.
No, I mean
maybe he just doesn't know how it works or something.
He really is. Maybe he was trying to pin it, and then instead of that, I'm gonna tweet it, and then I'm gonna retweet myself. He really is blowing himself right there on Twitter.
You've got to be able to handle a little bit of criticism. And then second of all, I was watching a video because I watched that video, like I started immediately. Well, it was actually because I watched the video Uncle Lou did about him yesterday morning when I was taking some brush and stuff to the dump. I was watching Uncle Lou's video. I wasn't watching the video. I was listening to it on the audio because I don't watch videos and drive. I'd never do that. That's not safe. But because I watched Uncle Lou's video, I started getting recommendations for these other videos about that. And so there's this one YouTube channel that comes up, and it's, obviously Deion Sanders fans, not Colorado fans, or Deion Sanders fans. And it's some guy just trying to get some clicks and get somebody to watch his channel by putting this content out. And they're talking about how racist the media is in Colorado and how the University of Colorado is racist because they don't give a press pass, press credentials to reporters of color to come in and interview the coach. And I'm like, don't the various media outlets hand the press passes out to who they want to come cover these stories?
Oh, well, no, the way that it works is that the sports information director, you put in a request for credentials, you let them know who you work for, and they can, most of the time they're going to approve you to go anyway. Now, as far as getting up into the stadium, and having a seat on press row to watch the game, there's only so many seats that are there. It's not like they have unlimited seats on press row. Hi, son. So it's like if you're a newcomer, you're not going to get an opportunity to sit there. If it's generally the older folks who've been covering the university for X, Y, and Z, they'll get a chance to go. And then they'll fill it in from there. But if you're a first-year reporter, sitting on press row is like a privilege because there's generally not enough spaces there. There isn't. It's just the way that it is. So it's not an issue of race. It's an issue of space. They just don't have enough room. So, but anyway, whatever. That's some silliness there. What a mess.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some stuff here. In the census of 2020, Denver is 81% white people. And anyway, these numbers are not mathing for me. Anyway, there's 9.8% of that of just Denver. I'm just taking this as like a snapshot of the areas. 9.8%. Black people. So, I mean, to those folks, there's just not a lot of black folks there. So maybe that's why you don't have media coverage. If you ever stop to think about that, I mean, everything's not racist. But anyway, the point is he won't answer questions. He uses an excuse for somebody that pissed him off because somebody rated him low on the preseason coaches list. So I'm not going to answer your questions. I'm going to act like a jerk about it. Now, we've seen like Steve Spurrier act like an ass before, but Steve Spurrier won a national title at Florida. Won how many SEC championships at Florida? I mean, he was pretty highly esteemed. I would say he was an elite head coach.
Right. Well,
when you get that kind of distinction, sorry, but I mean, sometimes you can get away with stuff like that. When you go 4-8, not so much. So,
well, I mean,
you should be able. I mean, you played in the NFL. You played Major League Baseball. You played in the NFL for multiple years. I mean, you should be able to handle a little bit of criticism. What kind of example are you setting for your players?
Well, look, also on that front, the guy does Geico commercials with Nick Saban.
Right.
So, I mean, you can't scream racism to me when you're doing fucking Geico commercials with Nick Saban. Now, are there some people that don't want Deion to win because of the color of his skin? Yes, there's a 0.01% of those people. You're going to have racist people regardless. But there are people that don't want him to win because he's an asshole. He could be a white dude and act the way that he acts, and people would be like, fuck that asshole. I don't like him. I don't like the way that he recruits and brings kids in, and the way that he treats.
He doesn't recruit. He doesn't recruit
Right.
high school players. Does not. They won't do it. He is as adamantly against recruiting high school players as Dabo is adamantly against recruiting the transfer portal. It's like those are two polar opposite coaches, if there ever were one, in terms of that. In terms of recruiting players.
It was Aflac commercials, not Geico. Either way, the point is that the guys everywhere around the country with Nick Saban as his partner here. Okay, buddy. Anyway, so with that, it's hard for me to. I don't want a red Toyota car.
Don't beat your son. Don't do that. Just take a breath.
I'm not beating my kid. Are you out of your mind?
No, that's good.
I'm not beating my son. My son's autistic.
No means no.
Okay, jackpot. Thank you for the parenting advice, sir.
You're welcome.
But my son's autistic and scripts a lot, and that's what he was coming to me with. He does need to go to the Golden Gate Bridge. You're right about that. We're working on that. But it's hard for me to have the whole race card thing with Deion because he's the highest paid person in highest paid public employee in the state. So don't scream to me racism because that's just stupid. So there's that.
Well, he wasn't the one screaming it. It was some of his followers. Equally as silly though. Just answer the guy's questions. I mean, I've seen pictures of this reporter. I don't know if you did too. And this looks like the most geeky, unthreatening individual that you possibly could.
And most reporters don't try to be threatening anyway. Most are just there to get the story. So that's just the way that it is. So I don't know what his deal is doing all that, but
now if I were there, like if he started, if it was just me, because I've never been in that situation, you've somewhat dealt with this type of environment before. So if I was in that guy's shoes and, he started dressing me down like you did him, he's like, or what he told the guy, said, I don't have a problem with you. I have a problem with who you work for. He's like, I'm just a local CBS person. He said, I'm not national. And he's like, well, you are who you are. You are who you work for. He's like, but I don't have a problem with you. So, so if that were me and I said something to him instead of just sitting down, if I'd said, Coach, why do you have an issue with answering tough questions? What do you think would happen to me? You think he'd kick me out of the press conference or what?
No, it depends a lot on the coach. I mean, he may look.
Would I get in trouble at work if I did that?
Well, it depends. It depends on who you work for. So my first press conference that I went, my first press conference I went to was with Lou Holtz, and I remember just being in awe of Lou Holtz sitting there. But I was at the press conference where Spurrier did his thing with with Ron Morris, and I was sitting next to Teddy Hefner, and Teddy, of course, has been doing this for. Teddy's 70-something years old now. Teddy's been doing this forever. And I remember him just looking and saying, we're not moving simply because, yes, son. Well, I want a boat trailer too. We need a boat too. But Teddy said, hey, we're not moving. He's going to answer questions. So Teddy and I sat, and everybody else got up and moved around or whatever. But after Steve Spurrier dressed down Ron Morris, Teddy's like, look, we'll be here long after Spurrier's gone. Of course, I'm young. I don't know any better, but he's right. He's absolutely right because I was there when Spurrier left and when they brought in Muschamp. Coaches come and go. As a reporter, you ask those questions. Now, you try to be respectful, but you can ask a question like, at ACC kickoff, I think everybody took shots at Dabo Sweeney. Look, why is it that the transfer portal is just something you're not doing? You know, I mean, you can ask him questions like that. And Sweeney is, you know, he knows that's coming. Most coaches do when it comes to those kind of things. And they can do what this guy did, what Sanders did, or they can just lob it back to you. Hey, I've already addressed that. You know, I'm confident in the way that we do things. We have a set way we do it at Clemson, and then move on. That's better than what Sanders did here. Sanders tried to show that guy up. And now that guy is, you know, he's not going to give Sanders the coverage that he wants. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't think he may be fair or whatever, but it's not like he can go to that guy and ask him for a favor later on, is what it basically boils down to. And he should be ashamed of himself for treating that guy like that, because it just wasn't good. Wasn't good at all.
Yeah.
So.
No, very, very disrespectful, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Put the link out there one more time if you want to join the program. Someone asked me the other night when I was at Callaway's about, hey, you guys should boycott the Colorado games because of the way that Sanders acts. And I was like, well, we try to have the best 10 games of the week. But then I looked at their schedule. If they lose to North Dakota State, let's just throw that out there. Maybe they're on upset alert. Let's say they lose to North Dakota State. They have Nebraska in Lincoln after that, followed by Colorado State. I'm looking for a game that may make the top 10 as far as games that week.
Are there any? They play Nebraska, I think.
Yeah, Nebraska's after that, then Colorado State, Baylor, Central Florida, Kansas State, Arizona, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, and then Oklahoma State. I don't see a game on there where we're like, hey, you know, we want to talk about that one this year.
Well, I did my prediction for them the Friday. I think it was the Friday night before I left for Pennsylvania. Not that particular Friday night, maybe the week before. I did the live stream and did my prediction for them, and I had them at 4-8. And I had them getting upset on the road by Colorado State, but I also had them upsetting Utah at home. You know, just looking at the way the schedule fell out, I just thought that Utah might be ripe for the upset. But I think that after what happened last year, kind of the bad blood between him and Colorado State's expected to be improved. This is the first time they'll be playing that rivalry game in Colorado Springs. Is it where they play? Colorado Springs? No, that's Air
Colorado
Force.
Springs.
Wherever Colorado State plays at. Since 1996.
Fort Collins.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Fort Collins.
Yeah.
Jeff Collins, Colorado. First time since 96. So
I was looking for a line upset to me. I was looking for a line on that Colorado game. We don't have one, so kind of interesting, to say the least there. All right, well, anybody else want to join the program before we get out of here? Unless Jackpot's got something else. Man, our Braves have been kind of here lately. Hopefully they'll get their stuff together.
Yeah, they've won. What have they won? One game in their past 10 or something. They won yesterday, but then today they were winning. I saw, and then they gave it away.
Yeah, they're giving games away in the candy shop. Pretty sad.
To Colorado, no doubt. Colorado.
Yeah, they lost to Colorado
at one time, the Braves, when Colorado came in as a MLB franchise, you know, the Braves beat them, I think, like 20 times in a row. Did you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. But, no, it was 18. They won 18 in a row. It was 18. I remember that.
Yeah, and now they can't buy a damn win against these fuckers. They're not even any good.
The Braves have lost 3 or 7 out of their last 10. And here's the thing. The Phillies have also – they've been the shits, but the Braves can't catch up. The Braves are now – they were 5.5 back, but now they're 7.5 back.
Yeah, they could have tied the thing up if they'd have won a few games here or been within like 2 games.
That's where they're on the wild card standings. They currently are the last wild card team. They're 4 games behind the other 2 wild cards. Only a half game up on the Mets for the wild card. What a shit show. What a shit show. They got to get their stuff together. Plenty of season left. Very good.
AJ says, what's the news on the Gamecocks camp and how the team is performing, positives, negatives? Pretty quiet. I'd say it's pretty quiet. I don't know. A couple of those you run receivers are playing well, though. They got out of the transfer portal. I want to find out how the offensive defensive lines are doing. I did read they were doing some one-on-one type drills, offensive linemen versus defense, or like some 3-on-3 drills today at the practice I had this morning, and I read it said Tonka Hemingway kind of blew up the plays. He pushed Vershawn Lee, who's the sophomore offensive lineman, pushed him into the backfield, into the ball carrier. And I'm like, great, that sounds like last year.
So Bam Martin Scott hasn't been able to practice because of a hamstring injury. He did come out today and talk about he expects to be ready for the Old Dominion game. So that was a guy that I thought should have got on the field more last year. Hopefully those injuries don't start this early, but
Rocket Sanders didn't play in the scrimmage yesterday, but he practiced today.
Yeah.
I think they're just probably putting that guy in bubble wrap.
Yeah, that's something too. I mean,
you don't need to say that because Texas and Texas A&M have both of those guys have lost their starting running back to ACLs already.
Well, but think about this, Jackpot. In the first game of the season, you're a 21-point favorite over Old Dominion, whatever the line is. I mean, you're a huge favorite over Old Dominion, okay? If you get up and you're up, say, 17 at the half, I mean, and you've got some carries for Sanders, why put him back out there? You know what I'm saying? I mean, what point do you have burying Old Dominion by having him out there and picking up carries in the third and fourth quarter? I'd let him sit, and then that way Kentucky doesn't have any more tape on him. You know what I mean? So there's that. Maybe that's just me. Anyway,
Wake Forest fan said he sounds mid. I don't know who you're talking about, but I mean, like your football existence, maybe? That's less than mid. Who's behind Sellers? Robbie Ashford's the backup behind Sellers.
He needs to change positions, Jackpot. Wouldn't you like to see him play some wide receiver or something? Do a little something. You supposedly got electric feet, Jackpot.
I would, but that's not my call.
I mean, why not put your best athletes on the field and have them make plays? That would make a lot of sense.
Luke Doty would probably be better as a backup quarterback than him.
Well, Luke Doty's played more quarterback than he has. I mean, that's fair. So Ashford will be a lethal skill guy. Yeah, I'm with you on that too. Why not get him out there and let him do something? We shall see.
I think that's the movement we need to get behind. I mean, you think I should try to contact Beamer and see if that they might consider that switch?
Why not? I mean, Beamer reads Twitter. Start your own Twitter movement. Ashford.
I might send him a DM. Give him his DMs.
Yeah, get in Beamer's DMs. But what's it gonna hurt? And by the way, I don't know if Ashford wants to do that or not. But if Ashford wants to make the field, maybe Ashford's one of those people who's like, I'm only a quarterback. Sorry. Maybe it's one of those type things. But if he's a guy that wants to play, put his ass out there. Let him out. Let him. I mean, we've seen him run a good bit. He can do that. Teach him something, and put your wide receiver coach to use, and teach him to run some routes, and let him. Hopefully, he can make plays. That's what I would think about doing, but I don't know.
Am I going to the Old Dominion game? No, I'm going to go to the game in Alabama. I've already got I haven't bought the tickets to the game yet because I'm trying to see if the price comes down a little bit before I decide to pounce on them. But I have reserved a hotel room already just in case that we do go. I'm planning on going. but the hotel rooms in Tuscaloosa are like $350 for whatever's available. And I'm only needing to stay one night. So I'm like, the hell with that. So I got myself a hotel room in Pell City, Alabama, which is like an hour outside of Tuscaloosa.
So
Well, have
I'm
you ever
looking
spent any time
here.
in Pell City, Alabama?
You could stay with my friend Chucky down there if you want, man. If you're just gonna, he's got an extra bedroom. You just go stay there. He lives
Who?
right near campus. My friend Chucky, Charlie, Chucky, whatever. I'll ask him if he can come stay with you. It's not gonna matter. He's got an extra room. You just save the hotel room.
I don't know about staying with somebody I don't know.
Yeah, it's fucking Chucky. He's a drunk. You'll love him.
Okay.
He works at, I'm serious. No, he works at what is it? He makes cars at the BMW plant down there. So
They
he's
have
like
a BMW plant in Alabama too?
it's something. It's a BMW plant, whatever the fucking plant is down there. Hold on, I don't know what it is, but I know he works like doing cars or something down there. Let's see here, auto plant, Tuscaloosa. Yeah, which one is it? Which one is it? He
Randall,
works
the cheapest
Mercedes.
one right now is a little over $100 for South Carolina and
Yeah.
Alabama.
Mercedes-Benz plants where he works. He works there.
Okay.
So, but hold on, I was looking at the tickets here, Jackpot. Let's see here. What were you thinking that you? So, according to Ticketmaster, the tickets are, yeah. Let's see what we got here. $115 a piece for upper deck tickets. That's the cheapest. But if you're going to drive down there, you should get better tickets than that, right?
I packed your lunch, fool, says Sports J doesn't care. Watch his video posted 2 hours ago. I don't care. I'm not watching the dude's videos. I'm not. I unsubscribe to that channel. Till he starts putting out something that's meaningful, I'm not going to watch. And I'm not going to have it in my feed. Sorry, he's a nice guy, but you know, I'm just getting a little bit tired of that South Carolina crap. Just keep beating it into the damn ground. It's not. I mean, nobody gives a shit. Nobody who matters gives a shit about that anymore. They've all moved on.
$142.
The gain from it.
$142. Between $115 to $142 a ticket is what you're looking at, Jackpot. So I don't know if they're going to come down or not, but on Ticketmaster, that's where you're at. Those are for upper deck tickets. So he says y'all begged him to come. No, we didn't. We invited him. We asked him to be a guest on the program.
I didn't say anything about him coming on this channel. Those words never left these lips.
Right. I invited him, not Jackpot. Let's make sure we put that out there. I was trying to give him an opportunity there. We'll see. All right. Well, hopefully we'll figure out something here with Jackpot and some the stuff with Alabama tickets there. We'll see.
packed your lunch, fool. Quit fucking crying over in the damn comment section, being such a fucking pussy. I mean, either you want to come over here and just talk shit and have fun, or just quit crying. I mean, please.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate you guys, and we will talk to you later on.